Welcome to my realm. My name is Mary. I am the Magic Apothecary. I am an herbalist. And I am a medicine woman. And I am here today to talk to you a little bit about herbalism and magic herbalism and the combination of the two. In the background you hear lovely music from an album called Hildegard von Bingen. It's B-I-N-G-E-N. Symphony of the Harmony of Celestial Revelations from the complete Hildegard von Bingen Volume 1. I choose her to have in the background because she was also an herbalist and a musician, which is what I am too. So here's Hildegard's stuff. Actually modernized and brought to you in a different way, but hope you enjoy the sound of it behind our talking. Anyway, my name is Mary. That is my name. Mary Elizabeth Mikari is my full name. I'm a medicine woman, as I said. I'm an herbalist. I'm a witch, Wiccan, pagan. I am an aromatherapist. I'm a healer, an energy healer. I am a creator of spells, and I'm a singer as well. I run a small business in New York City based called the Magic Apothecary, which is at this time only online at themagicapothecary.com. You can find it at www.themagicapothecary.com, themagicapothecary.com. So I've been making magic and herbal products since about 2006. One of the first focuses I had out the box as a pagan was herbalism and herbal magic. That was one of the first things, aside from candle magic, that I was deeply attracted to, and so started to study, actually, if you want to go back, in 1995 or so, when I first stepped into the pagan community. So got many books on incense and oils. I was always very intrigued by the oil bar at the back of Enchantments, where Joe Zukowski used to hold court and mix oils. Some of that was essential oil blends, some of that was perfume blends, but it opened my mind to this way that aroma and herbs themselves can aid in spirituality. And so in 1996, I opened the Magic Apothecary as an online business and started to create my own magical products. And what I do is I make things that go from, span the gamut of carriers for magic, which are candles, or I make incenses from fresh herbs. I make oils of all sorts based with only aromatherapy and only with organic essential oils. I don't use perfume oils at all in any way. I use all organic materials, all earth-based materials in all my magical work because I think it works better. I know it works better. I make magical makeup, magical lotion, salves, perfumes, both sprays and solid perfumes. I make tinctures for healing, alcohol-based tinctures, glycerin-based tinctures. I make massage oils. I even cook up magic brownies, yes indeed, of all sorts, but not the kind you're thinking. Maybe those two, depends. But I do make magic foods, including seduction pasta sauce and, give me money bread and all that kind of stuff, using the same basic formulas. I have money formulas, love formulas, sex formulas, magic, creative formulas. I have weight loss formulas, on and on and on and on and on. But I create them in all these different carriers. I'm also a tarot reader, and that's another form of healing that I use and a tool that I use. And if you're interested in that, you can get in touch with me at themagical@gmail.com. It's themagical, M-A-G-I-C-A-L, apothecary@gmail.com. On any of those questions, if a question about anything, I love talking about this stuff. Obviously, I'm here to do so. Anyway, let me go forward. I am now in the process of discovering and uncovering for myself, and I know many others have, but I am in the process of uncovering the correlations between the healing properties of herbs and their magical uses. I've just completed a course with a wonderful teacher named Pika Trinkle, and at the New York City Open Center, which is a 4-month green medicine course, and I am embarking on another class with her and an apprenticeship, hopefully, with her as well. So I'm really deeply involved in the study of healing herbs at this time, and adding that to my knowledge and experience with herbs for magic and for intention. So coming into magic, from my background, I was so far removed from herbs and the idea of herbs except for culinary. that has taken me a while to understand them and really understand that what a lot of people have blocking them between themselves and the herbs is a lot of centuries of denigrating the power of the earth and the energy of the goddess, and the way that those herbs and her power had been used for centuries by the medical establishments through history. Not saying today, because we're starting to have a renaissance and an opening of the minds of many, and many doctors and nutritionists and other healers are working with not only a traditional allopathic medicine, which I have no prejudice against. If it works, it's good. And blending herbalism along with their other work. These people are, as are herbalists. So the pendulum is sort of in the middle, and everybody's starting to work together after many centuries of division. Herbalism has been traditionally a female-based thing. In my herbal classes and all the lectures I've attended on herbal medicine, it's mostly women. It seems to be women tend to understand the plants. Not saying that men don't. There are beautiful men in this world who understand them the same way. But it's more accessible for some reason to women. Perhaps it's because we are feminine and earth, and we understand the earth in a way that men have to endeavor to do a little bit more sometimes. So that's just that. So through centuries of men, sorry to say, the male-dominated at the time and still somewhat medical fields, witches, healers, midwives were sort of demonized and have been pushed to the background. And with their getting pushed to the background, their herbal knowledge was pushed to the background. It is a common knowledge amongst herbalism people that the burning times, which stopped a lot of our magical knowledge and cut it short in the European countries in the world, also cut short our herbal knowledge. The blessing we have as herbalists is that the people in Asia, all through Asia, China, Japan, Vietnam, Korea, and people in the Americas were still using herbs quite happily and with great success. So although our herbal history as European peoples, some of us, has been sort of snubbed out because of that terrible thing that happened in Europe at the time, still there's stuff to pick up here and new threads to pick up and new things discovered all the time. So that's all that. Don't forget that what a witch is, or was, at least that I've read through and understand, is that a witch was a wise one, a wizard, or shaman. These were the wise people of the tribe, of the town, of the village, who were midwives, healers, herbalists, psychotherapists, mind healers, people taking people through meditations, readers, diviners, all these people. You can find their correlation in modern medicine today. So also herbs for cooking have been for centuries commonly used, not only just to make things taste good, which they do, but simple things as simple as salt. Salt was used to preserve, as we know, many of us know, and also many other herbs, things like rosemary or garlic. These are antibiotic or antibacterial, and so they will help to keep people from getting sick. And so are things like wasabi or cayenne pepper or other hot sauces that are found throughout the world in many cuisines. These were used to preserve and to protect us when we ate something that might have been a little spoiled, if we couldn't cook it properly, or if something was questionable. Marinating in those herbs or cooking with those herbs would actually, one, help us to digest by aiding our stomach acids, and B, also kill any pathogens that might be on the animal flesh or vegetables or fruits we were picking up to eat, including molds in many cases. Not only healing herbs were used for centuries, but also by witches and midwives and healers, but also poisons, hexing or baneful things have been in our tradition in the Wiccan or witchcraft tradition for centuries, and the healer tradition for centuries, because poisons are a necessary part of what an herbalist has to know how to use, and a witch has to be able to use in order to kill, not because you're in a bad mood, but because at the time there were no, ways to really help an animal, perhaps, that was deeply, deeply sick and suffering, or a person who was deeply sick and suffering. It may have been a merciful way to help someone. And there are other uses for those types of poisons which grow out of the earth. Oh, my cuckoo clock is going off. That's just warning me. I have a cuckoo clock over my computer warning me to move along. Anyway, so I wanted to talk today a little bit about one herb in particular, and that's what I'm going to do in these little casts. I'm going to speak about one particular herb and how to use it in a lot of different ways. This one is Echinacea. Let me spell Echinacea for you. It's Echinacea. 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 It's a well-known, very common herb. So I was asked to talk a little bit about just the things that I'm working on, and so I will talk about Echinacea because in my herbal studies, this was the first herb that I brewed up in tinctures and gave out to all my friends and family for Christmas this year. And no one's gotten a cold. And if one or two people have gotten the cold, but they have fought the cold within a day using Echinacea. So I thought this is proof positive that this works, and it makes me feel great and inspires me to go forward. So, Echinacea. Many of us have heard of Echinacea, see it in the store, know it's in things like Airborne. If anybody knows what Airborne is, a great product that has Echinacea and a few minerals in it that help to keep the body strong if it's been exposed to airborne type viruses or sneezing bacteria flying out of people's noses on the subway. Yummy. It's good stuff. So that's what Airborne is for, and that's where Echinacea can be found kind of commonly on shelves like in your regular drugstore in capsules. Or you can buy it in a tincture form, which is the herb extracted in alcohol or glycerin if you don't like alcohol in your body. Also, people use it in teas, salves, many different ways to get an herb into your body. And we'll talk more about those as I go on with these things. So there also people have been using it for this herb itself for centuries. The Native Americans here have been using it a long time. The settlers here realized what they were using, picked it up. It was also quite common and is still common in Europe. All over the world, Echinacea grows. It's a blessing, actually, that it's with us. So, I feel that it's best to take it as a tincture if you can and are willing to find one or purchase one or make one yourselves, and I will be talking on how to do that later on in these podcasts. So, but if you would like to purchase one, I have. If you would like to purchase one in the store or online, you can get in touch with me and I will tell you where to find them. I'm going to give you some information about great suppliers for herbal medicines and great fresh herbs too. So anyway, taking Echinacea daily for about 3 weeks at a time will aid you and aid your immune system. If you take this herb, especially during the cold and flu season, it can be very helpful. It protects you by giving your immune system a boost that it needs to fight any kind of invaders that come into it during this time of the year when things are cold and people are huddled together. There have been many great medical studies published on the effectiveness of this herb, and you can easily find them online by doing a simple Google search of its properties. Echinacea, so I'll spell it again, Echinacea. Not an easy thing to spell, but it's an easy spell to do. Sorry. Anyway, so recommendations for Echinacea as used only as a healing herb are these. Again, take it for 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks at a time, daily. Maybe a dropper full if you have a tincture, or one capsule, or a couple cups of tea a day if you like the taste of it. You can always jazz that up with some honey, and then you can stop for about 2-3 weeks and then start again if you're still within the cold and flu season. After you've used it for a few weeks, you'll notice you don't need to take it again for as long, so you may get the benefits in just even a few days. And you'll judge how your body feels about it if you're interested in using it. Also, I want you to be careful before you even take anything, okay, that there are people who are allergic to a lot of different things, okay? And if you are allergic to some flowers, if you have flower allergies, you might want to really check with your doctor or your allergist before you take it, okay? Some people can have get asthma or abdominal pain. Some people find they get nausea from it or dizziness. It's very, very rare. And usually it's a short duration. But if you have any kind of a thing where you have allergic reactions or asthmatic conditions, I would definitely check with a doctor before you start taking any kind of herbal preparation. Most likely they'll tell you it's fine, but it's best to see. Okay, Echinacea should never be taken by people with progressive systemic and autoimmune disorders, like rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis or any kind of an autoimmune disease. What it does is hyperactivates your immune system, and if you have a hyperactivated immune system, it's going to make your condition, and perhaps can make your condition worse. Okay, so that's something to understand as well. Always seek medical advice if you're taking other types of medicines, and so you understand that there may be a reaction or a contradiction in your medications. So always cautious first. Any kind of medication or anything medicinal, you understand you must check through things first. Okay. So anyway, also Echinacea can be used if you know you're okay to use it. You can use it also when you feel a cold coming on. At the beginning of that cold or flu, when you have that achy feeling or that weird I'm getting sick feeling, you can dose yourself more with the Echinacea every 4 hours, every 2 hours. How often you need is up to you and your body's reaction. So Echinacea can also be used as a strep throat remedy, which is great. You can squirt the tincture directly on the back of your throat regularly while you have strep throat. You can squirt every hour until the symptoms start to subside. And I've had strep throat; it's extremely painful, and Echinacea can help make that feel a whole lot better. Okay. You can also gargle with it if you have a sore throat or you have tonsillitis, and you can just put a couple drops in some warm water and gargle with that and try it that way. That's another way to reduce swelling back there and kill all kinds of bad guys. Also, in a pinch, you can use Echinacea on wounds and cuts. It protects the body from the invaders that might get into a cut or wound. So there's that. Okay, so now the second half of this talking is about the magical uses of Echinacea. Guess what? What do we use Echinacea for? Well, protection. Protection. To strengthen, boost spellcraft. Isn't that interesting? I'm telling you to take it if you need protection from flus and colds. And also, people have used it magically to protect themselves from baneful things. Well, I think colds and flus are baneful, so I guess it's the same thing, right? Also, to strengthen and boost spellcraft. Now, did I just not say that you can use Echinacea to strengthen and boost your immune system? Pretty interesting. If you start to think about all the herbs we commonly use in our general magical practices, like, say, lavender, for example, for cleansing, well, guess what lavender does? It's antibacterial. So on. And I can yammer on about this for 300 years. But this is the fun of this podcast. And this is what I want to get across to you guys out there listening, to start thinking about how can you make it work together. Can you blend your Echinacea or find your Echinacea tincture on the shelf at Whole Foods? Or can you go pick some in the summer in some wild field and then make yourself a good tincture or dry it for tea through the winter? And can you use it not only in your body but for your mind and your spirit? See, herbs work this way. They work on all three parts of us. They work on our body, they work on our mind, and they work on our spirit, because we are of this earth and we are of the goddess, as are the herbs, as are the animals here. So using their energy for our own purposes is normal, regular, absolutely perfect. Just like food, herbs and plants are here for our good, as to take in to ourselves and to make us stronger and better in many, many ways. I want to tell a short little thing, and I'll end this podcast for you guys. If you think about if you find a chance this spring coming up or through the summer this year, take a look outside of your house at the wild things that are growing, whether you live in an apartment or a house or anywhere. And take a look at a couple of the plants that seem to do very well there. Take them into the house and research them. Look for them online. Look for them in herbal books. Call me. I'll do it for you. Send me a picture. You can look on YouTube. But look for plants that grow wild. You will most of the time, almost all of the time, find that the plants that are growing outside of your home are there because they are the very plants that are there to serve your needs emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I have outside of my home a holly bush, and I thought that's really kind of not a useful thing until I found out the little boy downstairs from me has high fever seizures, febrile seizures, and holly is used to treat fevers, high fevers. It brings them down very quickly. Interesting, right? I could go on. But take a look at that, and I'll talk about that often as I do my own investigations this year through the wilds of Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for listening. Go get some Echinacea. I'm talking to you now at the crack of the spring just before Ostara in 2013. At this point of the year is the time you really do want to think about having a little Echinacea to keep out what's coming along in the time between the seasons when things are a little cold and a little warm and a little wet and a little dry, and there's a lot of changes. A little dose of Echinacea a day might do you some good if you are able to take it. Please check with your doctor. Please make sure there's no reactions with your medications or any kind of illness you may have. Also, pull up a little Echinacea and put it in a spell, and then get back to me and let me know if it worked. The Magical Apothecary at gmail.com, and visit me at my website www.themagicapothecary, apothecary.com. And if you want to give me a call, that's good too. 347-492-0534. Many bright blessings. Goddess be with you. Thanks.